Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? We rewrite the rules. The countdown has begun. The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello?
Hello. Are you awake?
No.
No, I'm not either. It was
No. Oh, it's a long evening.
It was.
Hump Day is finally here. We're now on the downhill side of the last week of July. What happened to the rest of the year?
Can I ask you, Rayford?
You may.
What day is today?
It's the 29th.
No, and
It's Hump Day.
and
It's Wednesday.
and I might as well just let it out.
You may as well.
It is the first day of football practice for high school football. So happy. It's a day closer.
Do you want to borrow my binoculars?
I don't need your binoculars.
Oh, okay.
No, would you?
You're the one who started it. Really,
It's the first day of football practice.
You know what? We have now less than 5 months before Christmas, 5 months and a couple of days until the end of 2026.
Why do you want to spoil this?
Good Wednesday morning. There's no such thing as news. I guess there's so much news out there today.
Oh, I
There's
have
a
so
lot of
much. I don't know
news.
if we can even get to it all.
And it isn't all good, and we hope you all pay attention because a lot is on the line. I'm Rayford Brown, and this is Live and Local Real Talk, y'all.
And good morning. I'm Lee Barrels. And yes, it is Live and Local Real Talk. Live and Local Real Talk.
So how'd you spend your morning? I mean, your really early morning. I mean, like before dawn. After midnight. What did you do after midnight? What did you do after midnight last night?
About 1:45, the storm started. And being that we're in the Onslow Amateur Radio Club,
And the Skywarn
we
Network.
initiated the Skywarn Network, which kept us up to 4 o'clock this morning before we finally cleared.
Every time that one of those National Weather Service bulletins out there came screaming across, and it expired as the storms came across. Well, we sat there and watched them because, you know, there is always in a severe thunderstorm the chance for severe weather to develop that's even worse than a thunderstorm. Tornadoes is what I'm speaking of, and I like to be awake, and if something happens, we need to be spreading the word, of which we will do.
Explain to everyone what the Skywarn Watch is.
Okay, it's when it goes off, when the National Weather Service activates any bulletins like warnings, not watches. When they do warnings, group of our hams, we're members of this group. And we go in, we got a special frequency we all tune to, and we get on and we check in regularly every few minutes, and we get updates. We provide updates, we get updates, and we track the storms with each other going across as to making sure we're watching it on radar, and then we're able to talk with each other. What are conditions on the ground where you are? What's going on? Yada, 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 in case there's a power outage or in case there are any severe trees falling or anything like that. We had a trampoline go airborne. Went from one neighbor to another last night.
Those will go airborne in a heartbeat.
Some limbs came down, and up to 1,400 Duke Power Company customers were without power.
Yeah, so there was a lot of
time.
Tree limbs I saw down this morning on my way.
Most of the power outages were over in the Richlands and Duplin County area. I think 1,000 of those customers were actually in Onslow. So, you know, they had something. And I guess Duke Power put out the word that it had a failure or something.
Right.
happened
One of their
somewhere.
substations had a
Yeah.
failure, and whether it was due to the storm, they did not say. But they,
You would assume, and think
Yeah.
that that's what would happen, what it would be. Because a lot of that stuff is computer controlled. Now,
right.
if your computers are not hardened when there's a storm out there, that's throwing electricity around that you can't even measure the voltage of,
Well, I
you
know I
no
read
telling what will happen.
I read what they put out, and they said estimated restoration time was 4:45 this morning,
So,
and it covered mainly Richlands, and it took a little bit of a path all the way up here to the Kellum Loop area.
Yep.
So anyway, so I hope everybody's got their power back on.
so if you if you're watching us on battery power right now on your computer somewhere, and you don't have power, call us. We'd like to know where you are.
Right.
So 910-333-0139, 910-333-0139. Those are some of the things that go on behind the scenes when storms hit, when there are hurricanes, when there's any kind of a natural disaster, or sometimes fires or whatever. If it's major situations, we got ourselves in gear, so we can relay information.
Some of us are weather spotters. I
Yep.
took a class, got a certification.
And we're going to have another class, by the way,
Yeah, okay,
coming up
good.
shortly.
Good. I'll take it again.
Oh, well, it's
Um,
different a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's good.
The other one was
I have
probably
my
winter.
certificate on the wall. In fact, you've got a copy of it over here.
Hmm.
But I took it. But if we have reports, confirmed reports of different things, or we see with our own eyes
Yep.
a spout or a tornado or tornadic activity, we can call them directly. And
We don't call them tornadoes because we don't know.
that's right,
They don't know from
tornadic activity,
tornado
Big
light
winds.
winds or whatever.
downburst.
Because it could be any variety of,
That's
of
right.
things that cause it. So
What?
and what? What's wrong?
I'm wondering, I lost Facebook. Wait a minute. It said it ended. Did it end? No, that's yesterday's. Facebook on me, so.
It's going to be a long day. It's already been a long
Well, I know. I think we cleared it about 4 this
day.
morning.
Yeah,
And then I think I managed to get about 30-minute nap
I didn't.
after that.
Anybody got any weather information that you'd
Yeah,
like
let
to
us
share with
know.
us? Call us. You can do that now, 910-333-0139. Any limbs down, anything is left over? Did you get a lot of rain? We got significant rain here. Not as much as Lee got, but it was scattered. We'll give you all that information in a few minutes, too, from around the county and over in the Carteret County a little bit, and even up in Virginia, over in Bladen County.
I would tell you,
Reports are everywhere,
coming in this morning, I saw a lot of tree limbs here and there.
I'm sure.
A lot of pine needles on the road.
Yep.
As
That will
which is
happen.
normal, but things look pretty good. But there's still a lot of water on the road this morning.
A lot of spotty, heavy rain.
Mhm.
It's interesting the way the rain happens, and when you look at the radar and looking at clouds outside at the same time, you can understand that it's not all going to rain exactly the same wherever you are.
Right, that's the
just the way-
truth.
That's just the way things
I
are.
mean, I have gotten over an inch at my house just the other day, and you had less than 2/10 or whatever, and it flips back and forth.
I'm telling you right now, though, first things, we talked about good news yesterday.
Yes.
To carry forth with that good news, great minds think alike, or our president is paying attention to us again. We do know he has spotters. I prefer to call them spies or sources everywhere.
Mhm.
Yesterday, we talked a bit about a 16-year-old lifeguard in California
Yes.
running full speed into a rough ocean in Santa Cruz when a 10-year-old boy, a child, got into trouble in the surf. His first season as a lifeguard, it is. Minimum age to be a lifeguard in that area is 16. He's 16. He's a rookie. He took control of the youngster in the ocean, a rough ocean, managed to get him to shore after he bounced up and down underwater for a while. Both of them did, but he never let go. He wrapped his arms around him and he dragged him to the safety. Gave him over to his waiting family, safe and unharmed. Paramedics came down to check him out. Well, you may recall that we voiced our opinions that this would be one of the heroes in this country that deserves a hero's welcome at the White House. Well, the Trump team wasted no time. I only have heard the young man's first name. It's Ryder, but he's going to the White House. Even Eric Trump posted on social media yesterday
I saw
that Ryder is deserving of the highest civilian honor. Thousands of others shared that same opinion. I think we were first. Ryder is the kind of young American we want to make America even greater. That ought to make some people mad. It starts not with politicians or slogans or the media or talk show folks. It starts with our young people and their parents and their teachers.
I will tell you, you brought the good story up yesterday morning. We talked about it. And you said he needs to go to the White House.
Yes, sir, buddy.
And then yesterday afternoon and last night, I started seeing the story all over everywhere. And what a wonderful young man, well deserved of his trip to the White House, and he's such a good example. He's what our future holds. I hope there are a lot more behind him. I'm sure that there are. Right.
I'm sure that there are. They just don't get recognized enough. We need to make sure when things like this happen, even just being there, just working as a lifeguard at 16 years of age out there with other people's lives in your hands. Well, whether you ever have to get into the water to save them or not, you're a hero.
I'm probably going to make some people mad when I say this.
Go ahead.
But thank you, YMCA, for the swimming pools.
Absolutely.
Because you know what? That may be where that young man learned how to swim.
Yep.
But having swimming pools here in Onslow County where young people can learn to swim.
I would hope that they give some, Red Cross used to do lifeguard certification. I took that course, by the way. Robbie and I both did when we were kids.
I learned how to swim on my own.
I learned how to swim. I'm talking about how to be a lifeguard.
Oh, how to be a lifeguard.
We got certified.
Uh-huh.
But I was never a lifeguard. I have no intention of being that.
I was certified to drive a school bus and never did.
Well, I was certified to drive a school bus.
I got a job instead.
Well,
Hardee's.
I got $1.50 a day. What did you get?
I got minimum wage at Hardee's.
That's about $1.50 a day. All right, what do we got cooking? Anything? Speaking.
I can tell you.
What?
Right here is a picture of the players at Jacksonville High School on the field with the coaches and the staff.
Did you take that?
No, but our fabulous, most favorite sports editor is out there, and he took the picture and he sent it to me. Wait, is that Jack? Is that it, Jack? No, that's not. Yeah, that's Crunch Fitness across the street. That's the first time I've ever noticed that.
What time of day was that taken?
That was just now.
Oh, just now.
It's the first time I've ever noticed that.
Goodness gracious. Well, it's not too hot and they got a good morning after to do it. It's only 75 degrees out there with 99% humidity.
Look at it. What is he in his pajamas? No, that's what? Camis. Thank you, Chris. Wow.
Yes.
I'm excited, aren't you?
4 weeks to go, y'all. We got to get up.
And the first game is away, West Craven. We have to go there. West Carteret. Craven. One of those.
I was going to say something, but I won't do it now. Okie dokie. Let's
we need to travel on.
Do some weather first.
We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we do. And we got Dr. Rose in about 15 minutes or so.
Yes, we do.
Looking towards our beautiful Onslow Bay waters out to 60 nautical miles today. Portions of North Carolina were under severe weather alerts yesterday afternoon. Onslow and surrounding counties went under severe thunderstorm warnings overnight. Heavy rain, as we talked about, thunder and lightning and wind gusts up to 18 miles per hour here at the studio, recorded here in Jacksonville. Along the central coastal area, we managed to avoid any major issues today. High pressure is moving in. The chance of thunderstorms is greatly reduced. And along the coast out to 60 nautical miles today, conditions will be improving. Westerly winds 20 to 25 knots, gusts to 30. That will be in the morning, diminishing to 5 to 10 this afternoon. Seas 4 to 6 feet. A chance of showers and thunderstorms in the morning. That should end a little bit later. Thursday, tomorrow, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, diminishing to around 5 in the afternoon. 3 to 4 footers, a slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon tomorrow. Friday, northerly winds around 5 knots, becoming westerly in the afternoon, seas 3 to 4 feet.
Today, expect a sunny sky with a high near 91, northwest wind 6 to 8 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 70. Thursday, sunny with a high near 90. And Friday, sunny with a high near 91. It's going to be a beautiful rest of the weekend.
Some of the area hams reporting weather this morning. Of course, Lee here over in the Woodlands said it was 74 degrees at 5:23. 74 degrees, 96% humidity, 29.60 inches of mercury. South-southwesterly breeze at 2, a half inch of rain. In the borough, Joe reported 75 degrees, 99% humidity, 29.58 inches of mercury and falling. He's the one where the trampoline came running down the road, ended up in the wrong neighborhood. Southerly wind at 2.80 inches of rain. Michael up in Crewe, Virginia, 72 degrees and clear. Richard over in Jones County, 73 degrees, 100% humidity, 29.63 inches of mercury and falling. He could see 9.9 miles. See clearly now. Westerly wind 3 to 10, 0.02 inches of rain. Ward and Cedar Point. Here we go. 77.7 degrees, 93% humidity, 29.65 inches of mercury. Westerly breeze at 5 to 8. He had right at 1 inch of rain. Ken in Onslow Bay, 75.9 degrees, 99% humidity, an inch and a quarter of rain. Randy in Southwest, 74 degrees, 99% humidity, 29.66 inches of mercury. Sometimes I can't even read my own writing. He said it was calm and 1.17 inch of rain there on 17 South in that area. We were watching that thing last night. That was a severe little storm coming through there.
Some red on that radar.
James over in Bladen County, 75 degrees, westerly wind at 6, 95% humidity, 29.66 inches of mercury. Carol was reported from River Bend this morning, 74 degrees, 99% humidity, 29.88 inches of mercury. Winds out of the northwest at about 1, not much to it, 1.22 inches of rain. Adriana, one of our club members we don't hear from here on very often. He's off Western Boulevard down there towards Gum Branch area. He had broken tree limbs in his yard and around. So that's one of the signs that you guys can probably see today. And Lee out there in the swamp, our swamp rat in back swamp, 73 degrees, 99% humidity, 29.57 inches of mercury.
Hey.
Winds out of the west at 2 and 0.68 inches of rain. Folks, there's another meeting of the Onslow Amateur Radio Club this Saturday. It's at 9 a.m. It's at 1180 The Commons. That's over in the Commons. It's at the Onslow County's Emergency Operations Center. It's where the big tall tower is. There's a 400-foot tower, 400-foot tall tower out there. So if you would like to come, sit in and see what it's all about, you're welcome to do so.
I have to leave by 11, so they better be done.
We'll be done.
I have to go to K-Town.
No, get some body armor. But anyway, it's going to start at 9 o'clock. Come on in, meet some of the folks, introduce yourself. We'll ask you who you are, and if you have interest in ham radio, come on down, join us up, join in with us, and sit in. And after we end about 10 o'clock typically, you can sit around and you'll find people that will talk with you and give you encouragement, offer assistance. We don't charge you for assistance. We're not like a lot of places where we've got a profit-making operation going. We help you out. We'll do whatever we can. Individuals will help you. The group will help you. We'll get you. We'll help you get.
You get to sit up all night long and monitor thunderstorms.
And that way you can do that too, and be part of that kind of a thing.
I'm definitely getting a nap today. How about you? Wow.
Speaking of the president, looks like those guys in Israel with an intelligence operation called Mossad
Yes.
will be turning over some intel to the United States. Word is that Israel's Benjamin Netanyahu and his meeting with Trump, they kind of have a chat about what we have suspected. Iran is actively expanding operations at nuclear sites, and it's not all about generating electricity for the citizens. Did anybody realistically believe any of those stories coming out of Tehran? Oh, we're just producing electricity for the citizenry.
Yeah.
Who believed that story? They wouldn't let us inspect it, not just us, but wouldn't let the International Committee inspect it. They wouldn't allow any of that because they've got what they've got down there at 100 meters, 110 yards or so below, underneath a big old rock. They got a room full of centrifuges.
Yeah.
They're turning out nuclear weapons grade uranium.
After what happened yesterday, they're really treading on
Yes, they are.
thin ice because
We thought we were in a don't shoot status with Iran, and the president has publicly said he's hoping for a long-lasting peace deal.
it's not going to
Bravo,
happen.
Sierra.
I agree. Bravo. It's not going to happen.
Because they've already fired a bunch of stuff at our troops in bases
Yesterday.
in that
Yes.
region. That friendly countries, Saudi Arabia and other countries, are friendly and allow us to have people there.
I think it was like 5 ballistic missiles they fired at our troops yesterday, which we intercepted.
Yeah.
But
We got them, but we haven't shot back yet. We're saving it up.
well, you know what their latest was that came out yesterday? First Lady Melania Trump and son Barron are the latest target of Iran's sick
Even
anti-U.S. propaganda.
even Bill Clinton, when threats were made against his predecessor, George H.W. Bush,
Right,
you know what he did?
George.
He attacked the sources.
Mhm.
We attacked that country
Well,
where that was coming from.
a new video out of Iran surfaced yesterday encouraging supporters of the Islamic regime to assassinate President Trump's wife.
Yeah.
On the video, the video is entitled "How to Kill Melania Trump," and it shows images of the First Lady in a motorcade and in some locations around New York City, even naming some of the stores she likes to shop at.
Now, if you had the power and somebody would do that to your spouse, would make such a threat to your spouse, well, let me just put it to you this way. I'll ask you a question, since some of you know a little bit about me from listening to the show, and one or two out there might know a little bit more because you're who you are. What do you think I would do if such a threat was made towards my wife?
Be going after somebody.
I I'd let God sort out the innocent ones by the time I got through. Okay.
Well,
Bottom line.
between that servicing yesterday and then the ballistic missiles that were fired at our troops yesterday, I figured there was a come to Jesus meeting last night in D.C. and you know what? Talking about Netanyahu
Yeah.
and Zelensky, they were both at the funeral yesterday for Lindsey Graham.
Yeah.
They were both at the funeral in D.C.
I've
I
heard
was impressed. I'm
nothing
like, wow.
that indicates that Trump is willing to back down on demands that the rogue nation not be allowed to continue building nuclear weapons of war. He
Right.
has not backed down. Netanyahu has not backed down. We're getting pretty good intel from Saudi Arabia that they're a little bit tired of this as well. In fact, Saudi Arabia's team has teamed up with the United States and taking military action already. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Reports from yesterday's meeting indicated that Trump and Netanyahu are in lockstep with that requirement. No nukes for Iran. The fact that Iran has not participated in peace talks with us should be a sign of what's coming. We're proposing peace,
Right.
but Iran has not joined the peace talks. They just want a ceasefire so they can restock and pre-position. We need to be prepared. We should be taking preemptive action to make sure we have a future. Iran's foreign ministry has been meeting with the interest in Saudi Arabia and Oman about ways to manage traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. I doubt that any deal worked out with these countries will benefit the United States and probably not the majority of the free world. Given what actions have come out of Tehran, I can see a toll booth being set up to charge commercial ships a toll to use the waterway, with the net result being an increase in products prices, including oil, on ships coming to the United States. Now, late news yesterday, no tolls on ships is not even being considered and will not be considered in any deals that are made with Iran. So hopefully that will be, like the nukes, they'll maintain that status. Have you noticed a price drop at our gas pumps over the last week or two?
No.
Since the current ceasefire has been in operation, the price per barrel of oil has actually dropped to $86 per barrel again. A few weeks back, I paid $3.30-ish cents per gallon. It was up last week to $3.60-ish, which was actually a slight drop from a week or two earlier. I haven't been anywhere this week, so I don't know what it is right now, but it should be coming down. It should be lower than it was even a week ago, because the price per barrel has dropped. That's the way it's supposed to work, right?
Right.
It always goes up real fast if there's something happen. If there's set a firecracker off underneath anywhere in Tehran, the price of oil is going to jump by $10 a barrel. You can count on it. Do you recall the tasteless death watch lists that were popular a decade or two ago? Names were put on a list with participants picking dates of deaths for those included. Each pick cost you some money, kind of like a pool. The closest to the day of death won that pool. Normally, the list included people who were scums of the earth, like Saddam Hussein, any mafia leaders out there, but there were a few tasteless submissions all along. Perhaps an aging and ailing sports figure or washed-up movie star made the list. In Wisconsin, the owners of a brewery thought it would be cute to promote free beer on the day that the president dies. Their post did not mention the president by name or his position, but the owner said it was, quote, a high-profile person, and with kind of like a wink. Regardless of your leanings, that kind of promotion is way beyond tasteless. I will admit that I would have no problems as an American toasting the deaths of a terrorist. Matters not. Pick 1 or 100. Any of them is good for me. Any leader of any nation calling for the deaths of Americans, I will toast their deaths. That's not the point. Those are not political folks that I disagree with. They are enemies of ours. Not sure about you, but I've never had an enemy that I liked. Let me repeat that. I've never had an enemy that I liked. And any that wanted me killed, I was fine with them being 86th quickly. Back to the brewery in Wisconsin. Minocqua Brewery Company owner Kurt Bangstad is no fan of the president. His anti-Trump social media posts are notorious. but to date, the liberal activist has not attracted a lot of government attention. Wisconsin, you'll recall, is pretty liberal, meaning that some folks there probably don't even like Trump, though Trump did carry the state, but by less than 1 percentage point. Effective the 4th of August, that brewery will not be allowed to sell beer. The state's alcohol regulatory agency said they found beer that was illegally purchased in another state, meaning it could not be sold in a Wisconsin outlet. Not uncommon to find pubs to try to circumvent the state's revenue laws. To sell alcohol in outlets in Wisconsin, North Carolina, and likely most states, you have to pay a state tax. The states regulate the sale of booze, and they take their cut. It's the same as gas taxes. Along with federal taxes, individual states charge taxes on gasoline sold for motor vehicle use. We know that. Well, the Wisconsin brewery owner vows to fight that ruling, said that pulling his permit is overkill for what he terms a minor infraction. Minor? If every bar did the same thing, buying beer as though for personal consumption, then selling it at bar prices, the bars increase their profits and the state loses revenue. Mr. Bangstad says he will not stop selling beer to any progressives who want to come to his bar, whether he has a permit or not. Good luck, sir, in jail. In jail, you won't be able to have a one for the road, not even one time.
And there,
So,
it's not showing. Yeah, there it is. Dr. Stein.
Dr. Rosemary Stein, good morning, madam. How are you?
I am doing well. I hope you are. Good morning.
Good morning.
We're doing great. Did you have any thunderstorms there yesterday?
We did. We
Yeah.
had thunderstorms somewhere between 6 and 8, and then it was a lovely night.
Yeah. Well, it was lovely because it passed through you and came on down this way and dumped on us a bunch.
In the middle of the morning.
Yeah. Beginning about 1:45.
Oh. Well, you know what they say. We sure do need the rain.
Yeah, we do. We can, it's good. I'm glad we got it. I could do with it at a better time because when they have it that severe, there are warnings that are issued, and then our amateur radio club, they activate what is called a Skywarn network, and a bunch of us get up and man it just to be sure, we're ready in case something happens or to report any damages or whatever. So we've been up all night.
All right. Well, I guess the show must go on.
Yeah. So what can I do to get some rest? If I want to take a nap today, can I take a pill and go to sleep?
What?
Well, I would say that you're tired enough that you don't need to take a pill to go to sleep.
Amen.
Just rest. Do your best to rest your thoughts.
I don't need a pill. All I have to do is close my eyes.
Yeah, me too. I don't
Done.
even have to lean back in the recliner. I'll be gone.
Well, Dr. Rose, for somebody that does have a hard time sleeping at night, what are some tips that you can give them to help with the sleeplessness?
That is a really great question because so many children, especially because of electronic exposure, are now having trouble sleeping at night in a healthy way. And obviously, you got to limit your exposure to electronics, have regular times of going to sleep and waking up. So those are essential, really essential. Having a restful time in the last couple of hours before you do know that you need to rest. Remember that resting and sleeping is not necessarily the same. So you go to sleep at to bed at a certain time, but you don't. You know that you don't necessarily go to sleep at that time. The body doesn't just go to sleep. So it needs to be in a relaxed state. Try to always do the same thing. For example, if you're reading a book, pick up the book from that chapter, even if it's kind of boring and you want to jump. Read at least, make yourself a goal to read 2 or 3 pages or at least a chapter in that book. It can be a devotional, something that you just continue every day when you're about to go to sleep. I mean, I do that when I'm in bed already. I like to pick out, some Bible verses that might have meant something to me. All of those things are more conducive, and it takes a little bit of work and pre-planning in order to go to sleep. And one thing that's important, especially with children, is letting them self-comfort. If you're constantly holding them and kissing them when it's time for them to go to sleep, they don't know how to comfort themselves. They have to figure out maybe their blankie or their favorite teddy bear. Some kids will you'll see that they hold their earlobes or they twirl their hair. They're looking for comforting of themselves. We might do that ourselves when they're in a certain position to sleep. And that's kind of important. And then realizing we all have periods of wakefulness. You go to sleep, but that doesn't mean you're going to stay asleep. When you do wake up, so what do? Where do your thoughts go? What position did you get into? And you can train that so that you wake up and you go, I still have 5 more hours or whatever I have, and then be able to most of the time fall back to sleep. And then you figure out what to do. I tell patients that if you have trouble falling asleep that way, to start thinking of your best day. The best day you've ever had, and replay it in your mind from the beginning to the end. Another way that I tell them is count up 75 blessings, 75 things that are wonderful in your life that you truly consider yourself to be a very fortunate, blessed person to have. You never get to the 75 because you're usually asleep by maybe 20, but those are all good things that you can do, and you can instruct your children to do, that brings good sleep habits and hopefully will increase your restful time.
That's kind of like counting sheep, jumping over a fence or something, right?
That's right. A little bit like that, but a little bit with a twist, with a positive twist to it.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Good advice.
That sounds good. Now here, let's just go a little bit further. What are some things? But no, we're going to deal with kids here, all right? Because kids need to get to sleep, and so they can be rested when they get up, and they don't need to be having to stay there in bed for 3 hours before they doze off. What are some things they should not do, or some things they should do before they go to bed? But especially, what should they not be doing before they go to bed?
One simple thing that comes right to my mind is not watch scary movies right before they go to bed.
That one was at the top of my list as well.
Criminal Minds.
Yeah, but
not start jumping on the bed. Now, jumping on the bed will make you tired, but won't make you sleep well.
Yeah.
And being tired and being ready for sleep are two different things. So, if you have kids and they have this time right before bedtime where they go berserko, you may want to adjust that so that maybe they go a little berserko somewhat earlier. But the classic things like chamomile tea, sleepy time tea is a mixture of different teas that works very well with a little bit of honey and some lemon. Actually, a lot of kids, parents say some warmed up milk, warming milk releases some of the substances, the chemicals in it that make you restful. So all of those things are a good idea. Somewhere between an hour or two before bedtime. It might work for others, like half an hour to 45 minutes before bedtime. And make sure that to decrease the periods where you wake up and then you're not able to go back to sleep, that the children do go to the bathroom. One of the last things before getting into bed.
Well, Dr. Rose, that brings to mind, because I know a lot of parents through the years where they might have a child that was super active and had a hard time getting them to go down and go to sleep, and they would give them a dose of Benadryl.
Uh-oh.
Well, Benadryl will make a lot of children go to sleep.
Yep.
Some of them will have the opposite effect and will make them hyperactive. Yeah, you got I'd say it's about 10% of the population that you take Benadryl and it wires you out. So you got to know if you belong to one group or the other. The problem also with Benadryl is it plays with your sleep pattern, so that when you do go to sleep, you might not get into the deepest REM sleep, and so that you're not going to feel rested. You'll sleep, and it's better than no sleep, but it's not the best kind of sleep. So that you have to watch that. Sometimes melatonin can do that. Benadryl can do that. Sleep agents can do the same thing. You'll fall asleep right there. Like, you take it, and you might just find yourself, just sleeping anywhere. But you, when the end of that sleep cycle comes and you wake up, you may not feel rested because of the type of sleep that the Benadryl or other sleep provoking agents may have induced.
Now, you said something. Sleep is not always sleep. There's a restless sleep. Mm-hmm. There's a sleep that, you can be asleep, but golly, I mean, I've been very active in doing things. Oh, let's just say I get excited. I've been out on a boat fishing all day long. I'm still excited, worn out.
And can't
I will
sleep.
tell you that. I go to sleep, but I wake up, I'm extremely tired. But I'm still like, I remember fighting fish all night long. I dreamed that that's what I was doing. Have you ever done anything like that?
Yeah, sometimes even that rapid eye movement sleep is not restful and satisfying, depending on the dream that you had. So that can happen. You can't always control your dream. So that's a little bit more rare, and that's not what usually happens with children, but it does happen.
Now, I know someone that has gotten some tones, some kind of a device that produces tones, and that there are certain tones, not to make them sleep, but make them relax. But they listen to these, just a tone.
I see.
It's not a sound, it's not a pleasing tone, because I've heard it. It's just an annoying noise to me, but is there any such critter that actually makes people calm, cool, and collected? They can just rest.
I don't think that I've read enough about that to comment, but when you talk about it, what occurs to me is that tone affects certain parts of the brain in certain people that induces sleep. Mm-hmm. So I'll have to read more about that, but that is probably what happens with that, because the brain is wired to respond to certain stimulants, and that tone might just be a stimulant that in some people will activate or do the opposite to that part of that brain and will produce sleep. And now, is that a sleep that's restful? I don't know, but it may just tell the body you need to go to sleep now.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we're getting on. We got a month to go. Labor Day is coming up. No. Then we got back to school.
Back to school.
And then we're in the moving forward real fast here. Period. The summer's coming to an end. Back to school sales are on. Kids, watch out! It's coming. Now, what can they start doing? What do parents start doing? Weaning them off their late morning sleeping habits, or what?
That's really important right now, since we're talking about sleep. Kids won't just adjust to a certain time of waking up and going to sleep just because your schedule does. So that you have to start training them to wake up at certain times. So even on days that they're not going to school or don't have activities, they should be waking up at a reasonable hour and going to sleep at a reasonable hour. And the reason for that is to retrain their brains to wake up very early and go to sleep much earlier. But it takes time. It takes probably at least 2 to 3 hours for kids 2 to 3 weeks for kids to adjust.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. to doing it well. Certainly, you can do it in a week and a half, but doing it in a day or two, or just flipping a switch, like a lot of parents will do, because it gets out of the hands, and before they realize it, it's this week. This is our last weekend, and we're going to start school again. So that can be avoided by thinking about that now.
I always wondered about this because, I was one of them. Those guys that work kind of weird shifts, like law enforcement. Last job I worked at, I can remember that schedule disgustingly well. Go to work at 7 a.m., you get off at 7 p.m., you go home, you do your stuff, you go to bed, you get up again, you do the same thing. You go to work at 7 a.m., you get off at 7 p.m., and then you do that for the third day. The fourth and the fifth days, you got off. And then you come back and you go to work at 7 p.m. and you work all night long. And then you go home at 7 a.m., expected to get some sleep, then get up and you don't want to get on 7 p.m. and go back to work for 3 days. How's that schedule work out for you?
Oh, not very healthy, but sometimes you can't help it. That's what you chose for a career, like being a healthcare provider, a nurse.
Yep.
There are a whole bunch of jobs that are like that, and you got to do what you got to do. So you got to train the brain, but it comes with a side effect, which will be that you do alter your sleep patterns, and it's hard to do that, and you probably are messing up your brain a little bit. But
I knew there was
would I say
something
no
wrong
to
with
a
me.
job because of that? I don't think so. I think I'd just do what I had to do, but realize, okay, I have to figure out a way to switch this from day to night. In fact, I think in hospitals you're not allowed to do maybe more than 2 12-hour shifts that way, and you have to have 2 days before your next 12-hour shift if they're going to switch it from day to night.
Oh.
So I don't know in other jobs. You may want to research that and see if at your places of work, you can be somewhat flexible and sort of work with other people so that you can buddy up for a job. But those are important things for your mental health, for your psychological well-being, but also for your safety. People who sleep like that and change schedules very quickly, you're more prone to getting in an accident. And being tired is actually as limiting and as disruptive as being on drugs and consuming alcohol.
One of the things.
So you got to be really careful about those sleep patterns. If you think that you're too tired to drive yourself home after 2 or 3 12-hour shifts, or to drive back home, to drive back to work because the shift changed suddenly, please ask for help. That's what Uber is for, or family members and friends are for.
Yeah, I don't believe I would have taken an Uber to go to work at the police department. They would have been really like laughing you out of the building. No, one of the things that the cops learned to do, at least one of them, and all of us did pretty much the same thing. We did things like we got blackout curtains. So when we got home to go to bed at after a 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. shift, we walk in the door, we relax, we do whatever. We don't drink coffee or soft drinks, and the room is darkened. Any telephone in the room is turned off. There's no bells, there's no nothing. It's just like it is at nighttime. And that's the way, and there was a habit. And I really never had any issues with it because I did this for several different departments, and that's just the way it was. It worked out very well. So I kind of enjoyed it because I'd have 2 days off at a time, and then sometimes after certain shifts, I'd have 3 days off. So I could do all sorts of cool things while other people were working.
That's right. You got to see the positives, and that is one of the positives. I did that kind of work for years. And it's difficult going into work knowing that you won't come out for 12 hours, 24 hours, 36 hours sometimes.
Oh.
But the ability to just have several days off after that
Yeah.
it was something that was really positive about that kind of job.
All right. Okay, everybody got their shots and all that sort of good stuff. That used to be the big thing about this time of year. You better go get your shots if you're entering school.
Make sure that when you're going to your doctors, whether it's adults or children, but especially children going to school, that you ask your doctor whether they had all their shots so that they can go back to school. There's a shot needed, I think, at the beginning of 6th grade, and the other one is at the beginning of their junior year, that if they do not have, and that's the meningococcal vaccine.
Really?
That they don't have that, and the it's a DTaP and the meningococcal vaccine. So 6th, 7th, and 11th grade, if I remember the ages correctly. But if you don't have those, there's a timing limit, and after that, you'll get a nasty note from the nurse's office, and within a few days, your child will not be allowed back into school. So yeah, keep up with that, because you don't want to be surprised by that date.
No, you don't.
And that's easy to resolve now because you have plenty of time.
All right. Okay, guys, get ready to get back to school. We'll be talking to it more about that too, and you can go out. I don't know what you stock up on now. It used to be notebooks and pencils, and don't forget you got to have a bunch of number 2 pencil. I don't know whether they have to have that or not, but we'll talk about the physical well-being and the mental well-being of the kids, getting them ready to jump back into the saddle, hop on board.
Yep, I think that's a great idea. One little suggestion that I would really like is I think next week we're going to have a ladies' day with Miss Lee and I just asking questions. You'll be able to ask me questions. I think we got to feminize this a little bit. And so how about that, Miss Lee? What do you think?
Okay, we can do that.
I'm ready.
I'll have questions.
Good.
We'll be ready. I could probably think of some right now.
Well, Mr. Raper doesn't let Miss Lee get in a full sentence.
She's over here busy figuring out tricks to try to shaft me or something.
No. I appreciate that, Miss Rosemary. But no, I'll drum up some female questions and we can chat a little bit about that.
I don't have any female questions.
Well, I can definitely bring some up, right?
It might be interesting from a mother's standpoint, though I carried both roles there for a while. But from a mother's standpoint, what you have to really special things you got to do.
Right.
With the girls, get ready to go back to school.
Dr. Rose, I might send you a message on Facebook and say, we'll discuss some good questions or whatever for next week.
Wonderful.
Get it done. That's right.
Send me your email address, and then we can just or your phone number, and we can just text.
Oh, that'd be nice. Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay, Doc. See you next week.
Dr. Rose, thank you so much for everything.
Oh, you're very welcome. You guys have a great week and a wonderful weekend.
You too.
Bye-bye.
I just saw where part of Swansboro is without power as of 3 a.m. this morning. The mayor had posted. And Duke Energy has posted that the estimated restoration time is around 12 noon. But it looks like it was on the east side of 24 in Swansboro. So those of you that are without power in Swansboro, it looks about close to noon.
Okay.
And somebody, the mayor said it was like a mini hurricane there.
There was some wind blowing.
Yeah, it's from what the reports we were getting this morning.
Now, y'all know that if the power goes out here, I got 15 seconds, the power's back on, but it's from a different source. Okay?
Right.
I'm going to put a plug in here. We're smack dab in the middle of hurricane season, but that's not the only time that your power will go out. You can have a wreck down the street at 2 o'clock in the morning if you can shut your power down. Yep. Knock a pole knocked down. Yep, it can happen. You can have things like we had last night.
Right.
A tree limb falls down. Just a ridiculous. we got coming on winter, believe it or not, y'all, again, and an ice storm will certainly knock out power. That is,
I remember
those are
those.
awful.
Yes.
They are notorious for damaging power lines because those tree limbs get really heavy, and the power lines are already all covered with ice, which is heavy, and it doesn't take a whole lot of snap, pop, and crackle to make them come tumbling down. So I got some friends, Jones Onslow at John Stars Electric.
That's right. Good people.
John and Ethan, son, they do a marvelous
We've
job.
had Ethan on the show.
They came out here. They looked at what I told them that I wanted,
Right.
because I know what my needs are.
Right.
And they went back, designed it, came back, put it in, and it's working. And I have not been without power for more than 15 seconds since they did it.
Right.
On any given shot. Year or so ago, a limb fell across the street over there, and it hit one of the transformers. It was not doing anything special. It was just a worn out limb.
Right.
Just a worn out limb. Had a little breeze. It came tumbling down, and power's out.
Well, you bring to mind, you talk about lines going down. Area I live, everything is underground, but
Everything.
there's substations
all
that provide that, and there's lines going into the substation. So just because you live in an area where all your power lines are in the ground does not mean.
But it's still got to get to there.
It's still got to get there. And in past hurricanes, it was always one of the substations going down that caused us to be without power.
Substation will go down and knock out a big bunch of our distribution lines. But even
they have to fix all the stuff going
even
in.
the stuff going to your substations, they send out tens of thousands of volt lines going to your substation, then they redistribute it from there. That's the way it works. You just don't know where the source of your electricity is, at what area is the weakest link. There's a weak link in every system somewhere. And if the gremlins find it, like down the street 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, I stopped and I was, what are you guys doing over here? Well, we're getting the power back up now. Jones Onslow was down the street. You want to see it? It was fried squirrel. Yeah. Squirrel gets it up there into it and cuts across the power line, goes zip.
Those dumb squirrels, don't they know better?
Well, it was well done. Didn't have to cook it.
Oh, my goodness.
Instantaneous fry baby.
Rocky.
So those will knock out power. Most of the time, that's going to happen to a power line running from the transformer to your house. So the rest of us are not impacted unless there's two of us on the same transformer. But those things can happen.
Yeah, well, I pray and I hope that,
Call John Stars Electric.
Yes, good people, very good people. And they take good care of you after you have it
annual
installed.
service.
So, and we've had Ethan on the show several times talking about the benefits. I haven't gotten one yet. I'm going to. It's just other things. Took care of my budget for the last year, like trees falling in my backyard from behind my fence, other things.
When you do decide to do it, I'm going to do a little something here. The price of the generator is not the only price involved. It's all the connection and the transfer, automatic transfer.
We know, yes.
The difference between a 12,000 watt generator and a 24,000 watt generator is not as much in price as you would think. But the base price is still going to be there because it's got to be connected. It's got to have all the labor done. That's all going to cost you the same. Get the biggest generator that you can get that you think you need with some reserve on it.
Well, you're talking about generators. It's so important, and we stress it a lot, and I know we probably talk about it a lot, but it's important that now is the time to start getting your stuff together for the season.
Yes.
We could have one crop up. And right now, the National Hurricane Center, I watched them last night, and they said there's some waves in the ocean. Nothing has developed, so don't get excited. But they're watching these waves. 2 weeks from now, we could have a storm pop up. And you want to make sure you have flashlights and batteries and all the other things, canned food. At the beginning of every season, every time I go to the grocery store, buy a little bit more, stick it in the cabinets, make sure I have flashlights, make sure my weather radio is good, and all these things you can go to. There's some stores here in town, like one on Western Torch near the Roses store. Now you can go and buy tarps for $5.
Yep.
That's all you need. You don't need anything expensive, but yeah, get your stuff together and get ready. And that way, when the time comes, if it comes, you're not stressed out, because that's the worst part of an impending storm coming in, is getting stressed
Not being prepared.
and not being prepared and stressing out because you went to 5 stores and you can't find any tarps. You may not ever take the tarp out of the bag, but you know what? I have some up in my garage. It's still in the bags.
I'll tell you something else.
But they're there.
When they got those little 5x7 tarps on sale,
Yes.
they would give you a suggestion. Go get yourself one or two of them. They're cheap, $3-4 at that time. Here's why. Not necessarily for a hurricane, but that could help if you got a wind of the brakes that you need to just put stuff up. But let's just suppose that you're like Lee, or let's suppose you're like my wife. Lee's got a pickup truck.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does not. She'll go to the store and she'll buy bags of stuff like mulch.
Mm-hmm.
And she hauls it around. She can put 25 bags of that stuff in her car.
Yeah, I can.
But that mulch comes out of the bag.
Right.
Those bags are thick.
It has happened.
Just put the tarp there. Put your mulch on top of the tarp.
You know why I do
can
that? Because when I get down towards the bottom where it's all in the back, I take that tarp and pull it towards me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Plus, I have a mat. But there's so many things. I mean, there's so many things that we could fill a whole show talking about preparing.
Yeah.
Solar lights that you put in your yard.
Absolutely.
Get you some of those. Put them in the house. There's so many things that we could talk about. And if the time comes that we need to get serious about it, we could probably do a whole show on it, or maybe one night do a show and have you tune in.
Yeah, maybe we should tell people that here's what we need to do. Oh, I bet I could make a deal with Jones Onslow.
For somebody to come in and sit down and let's talk about it. What?
Better than that.
What? What are you going to do?
I know.
What's up, Jake?
I know people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to call them one day and say, listen, boys, let's do a test like we do on amateur radio. I want you to pull the plug on half of Jacksonville and turn all the power off.
Rayford, you incense people. People will riot.
Wouldn't that be hilarious to see what people would do?
Be in the middle of doing something really important and boom.
Well, you can do that in the dark. Massachusetts. Can you spell
something?
Can you spell Massachusetts?
MASSACHUT.
Nope.
I can't think right. I have to write it down.
It doesn't matter. Massachusetts.
MASS.
The post office doesn't spell it MASS.
No, we spell it MA.
There you go.
Is it MA or is that Maine? What's Maine?
ME is Maine.
That's right.
Massachusetts, hard enough to spell over the name, of course, we know that. Trying the state's government is way beyond what I can comprehend. Will not be visiting there. No reason, no time, no desire. The state is working on setting up a Muslim commission. Huh?
What?
What's the purpose of the Muslim commission, you ask? Seems the commission will be comprised of all Muslims. Their purpose is to seek out and recommend American Muslims to practice Islam to fill government-appointed positions across the state. Yeah, buddy. A bill in the state's legislature calls for the creation of this commission made up of 11 Muslims appointed by the governor and other state officials to represent the Islamic faith. Remember that word, faith, for a minute. To represent the Islamic faith on issues of business, the economy, healthcare, and other issues. The population of Massachusetts has between 2 and 3% Muslim residents. That means between 2 and 3 out of every 100 residents of Massachusetts is a Muslim. So with the word faith,
All righty then.
that means religious beliefs in general, right? Religious. If the legislature wants an 11-person Muslim commission to make recommendations for appointment or employment at the state level, only of Muslims, by the way, will the state have a similar commission for Baptists, Roman Catholics, Lutherans, the dreaded Methodists, and don't forget the Jews? Will they have all of those religious faiths with a commission to fight for positions for only Jews, for only Methodists, for only Lutherans, or only Baptists, or only Catholics? And by God, how about the knockoffs of the Baptist faiths? The First Baptist, Second Baptist, Pretty sure that each of those will represent higher percentage of residents than 3% in Massachusetts. So why? So what is this move in Massachusetts to seek out and appoint an 11-person Muslim commission with the express sole purpose of that commission to make recommendations for appointment or employment at the state level only of Muslims?
I have family that lives in Massachusetts.
What is the purpose of that?
I don't even know what you're talking about. That's the first I've heard on this. I don't know. What is the purpose for a lot of things?
Have we taken leave of our senses?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
not everyone, but
what's wrong with our governments? It's not the federal government. It's not any state government. It's state governments, the federal government.
That could take a while, Rayford.
Local governments.
Which brings to mind, I want to bring up a bill that was passed in the House and it's in the Senate and probably will be passed, but we'll talk about that in a minute because it's caused a lot of woke people to be upset.
Uh-oh.
So,
who have I made mad?
We have Steve calling.
I told you I'd make somebody mad.
Good morning. Good morning, Steve.
Hold on. Steve, you got to hold on because I got to take a sip of Coca-Cola.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, it's got caffeine. I need more coffee.
Laced Coca-Cola.
So how was your weather? I know you got hit pretty hard where you live.
I heard it was pretty bad.
You heard it? You heard after the sun came up that it was pretty bad?
Steve slept through it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm walking through the park right now through a field of debris. There's branches and everything went everywhere. And
Did you not wake up at all?
Yeah. Neither did my wife.
You had a weather radio. What happened if there were tornadoes in that thing?
I had one, but that daggone thing kept going off every time it rained, and I threw it in the trash.
It doesn't go off when it rains. It goes off when there is a warning.
It doesn't.
What am I going to do? What am I going to do then, Slater?
Get up and put your pants on in case you have to leave that house when a tornado comes through.
Put on my rabbit's foot and start,
It's funny, Steve. I heard the same thing from somebody else this morning. Like, nah, we just got tired of it and turned it off. I'm like, no, okay.
I was going to say, honestly, all of our phones have the weather app, and every one of them will go off if there's an emergency alert in the house.
Did they go off last night?
That still don't matter. I don't know.
That's right.
Steve slept through it.
I don't think they go off all the time.
I don't wake up really well for alarms, I'll be honest with you. I sleep right through those. The one time, tragically, that our house caught on fire, the neighbors came home in the middle of the night because all the smoke alarms were going off and everybody was asleep.
Steve has had so much drama in his life.
Wait a minute.
Getting hit by a car.
Hold on.
I've been extremely lucky.
Hold on.
It's like a cat. 9 lives.
Steve, you slept through the smoke alarms going off?
Yep.
And your neighbors had to come wake you up?
3, 4. My neighbor worked late nights, and when she came home, she seen the house was on fire.
You're like a cat. We'll start calling him Sylvester.
That's not a cat. That's an omen.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, I got up and got everybody out of the house, and even all the animals. And luckily, only half the house was destroyed. So,
Oh God! Half the
yeah,
house.
we rebuilt it, and yeah.
So did
But,
you go
yeah,
back
so like
in and
I
go
said,
back to
weather
bed?
videos don't really have a good effect on me. I would need like one of those big bells like they used to have in school.
Oh,
And
those things.
flashing lights and maybe a vibrator under the mattress to shake you.
Well, yeah, they do have the weather radios now where you can get the accessory and plug into your weather radio and put it underneath your pillow and it will
Right, right.
vibrate.
People
and wake
here-
you up.
Steve,
People who are hearing impaired.
hold on, Steve,
Right.
for just a second. You ready?
Uh-huh.
Have a little guitar amplifier, right? Hold on. You know what those things are, right? They make a little bit of noise.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
plug it into the output of one of these things because it's got an output on it too. It's got an audio output
Yeah.
jack. You plug that into your
I can jack
speaker.
it up.
You could jack it up and it'll wake you up. I hope. If not, just
Yeah.
go ahead and call the coroner because you're dead.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. I heard y'all talking about just a second ago, totally different subject, but
Yeah.
what y'all were just talking about for a call was the group of the council, whoever is going to make recommendations about Muslims
No,
for government positions.
here it's in Massachusetts. All right.
Okay.
There's in the legislature, there's a bill that's been introduced, the state legislature, that wants to, is proposing what they call a Muslim commission. It would be made up, they've gone this far, it would be made up by 11 Muslims appointed by the governor and or other members of her staff. And it will be only Muslims, and their sole purpose is to seek out and recommend nothing but Muslims to fill every state position that comes up. Not that they would ever get all of them filled by these individuals, but they would find somebody. It's kind of like Democrats trying to find enough people to run for office, every one of the
All the
offices in
offices,
Oslo.
right,
But
right.
they would find Muslims. They only have 2 to 3% population of the population of Massachusetts is Muslim. So it's not a large contingent to choose from in the first place.
Right. I kind of come from a neutral point until I know more, and so my first question is: Are they going to be vetting these people? Is that their purpose, to make sure that they don't have any extremists that are slipping into these positions of power?
They say they're going to recommend. They don't say how they're going to just make that determination.
How to make a determination?
We don't know that. It may be in that bill. That part hasn't been released or put out there. Media's not covering it. This is just a little known, one of those factoid things that I ran into yesterday. I'm like, what? This just doesn't even sound right. I got nothing against Muslims. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Radicals, I do, but Muslims in general, I don't. They're generally a very fine group of people. Islamic individuals are a different story. I get a little bit of a problem when they're Islamic radicals or individuals like the terrorists out there who want to kill me because they say they do.
Yeah. To me, there's the line kind of where Sharia law begins.
Yeah, that's the one.
But that's still a gray area. There's some people who observe Sharia law but don't do it in the way that extremists do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I agree. I don't look down on Muslims. They're no more. Their extremists don't represent them no more than Christian extremists represent.
Pretty much, yep.
Yeah.
But I'm just wondering what would happen if they come out with a Baptist. You got to have a Baptist commission too. Now don't forget that. Don't forget the Lutheran commission.
Yeah, honestly, that was my first reaction, is that there shouldn't be anybody trying to put a specific religion.
What happened to separation of state and church?
Right. Yeah, that's becoming kind of a gray area recently, but yeah, I lean on that side as well. That it should be a separation. There shouldn't be any focus on any particular religion.
I just found it strange.
But like I said,
again, it's Massachusetts.
From a place of, if they were coming from a place of, we want to vet these people ourselves before we let them go any further in this process, I might be more understanding of it. I don't really know their actual purpose.
But you want someone between them making the recommendation and before they get the job? would you want someone else also taking a look-see that might not have a vested interest? Or, you know,
I mean, like I say, it comes back to what those particular people's vested interest in is that if their motivation is to keep extremists out of that process, that's a different aspect of it than if they're trying to just put as many Muslims in power as they possibly can.
Yeah, that word "if"
like
keeps coming up.
Yes, right. That's all the things I don't know that make me ask all these questions. Yeah.
Anyway, it was just
that's something I thought about this morning.
Just a weird story. It's just,
yeah.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere personally. I even in Massachusetts, I can't see that one person is pushing this thing through the state legislature there, that it will ever, I've been wrong before many times. I can't see it gaining a whole lot of traction.
Yeah, and I'm, for the most part, in the school of thought of, as long as they don't try and tell us what to do in North Carolina, I ain't going to try and tell them what to do.
Well, that's what I said. I don't care what they do in Massachusetts because I'm not going there.
They get to, do things their way to a certain extent, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Go ahead. Go for it. As long as it doesn't impact me. I have lost nothing there, not going there. I've been through it and don't want to go it. Next time I go, I'll fly over it. Closest I'll come, I'll go to New Hampshire and then up into Maine. But I fly into Manchester, New Hampshire. I won't fly into Boston. That's where all the terrorists went into.
Hey, on jumping tracks again, I was listening to y'all after I got off the conversation yesterday, continuing the conversation about 2020. And I found it interesting that you wrapped it up with that Trump was full of baloney.
What?
And, I couldn't help but laugh a little bit inside that's kind of what I was trying to say. But at times I feel like that you will disagree with yourself to keep from agreeing with me.
No, not at all. And in fact, I agree with you more often than you admit, to be honest with you. But no, seriously, if he thinks, if anybody, I didn't say I don't think I said Trump specifically, but if anybody thinks there were enough numbers out there to change that are fraudulent numbers to change the outcome of that election in 2020, please put it forth, or you're full of baloney or whatever else call it. I may have called it a baloney sandwich. I don't know, which is a little bit different than just straight up baloney.
That's kind of it in a nutshell. And Lee, I address this to you as well, is that I understand, and everybody I think understands, that there is a fraud that happens. I mean, you're talking about 150 million people. If they want no fraud, that would be strange. But if you take all of it and add it together and multiply it by 10, it still does not reach the level to substantiate that claim that was made.
Well, I'd have to know how much there is before I would say I could multiply by 10 and not have something.
Here's the thing, though.
I just don't know.
You take everything that's known.
Yeah, right.
You take everything that's known.
Today.
Right, today. And that's what I say. If they come up with some evidence, just like a week ago, man, if they said they were going to have more evidence, if they would have had it, I looked at it. If they actually had something, I wasn't going to try and deny them.
Steve, you want to know another sad story? I did not look at it. Said they had some stuff they were going to present. I knew bloody well it was not going to be there. So I decided, instead of me getting my temper up and figured out that I wasted more of my life watching something that I knew there was not going to be anything any different, I didn't watch it.
And honestly, Rayford, I agree with you 100%. If they had something, they would have been holding it up, shining a big spotlight on it. They wouldn't have gave you a big pile of hay saying, go find that needle.
Nope.
But I looked at it just so I could say I did. That I'm not speaking on something I heard from a reporter. I did actually go and look at it, but it's nothing. And if it was something, like I say, they wouldn't have made it, a gray area. They would have shined a spotlight on it, and they'd be holding it up for everybody to see.
Yep.
And so I was pretty sure there wasn't going to be nothing there, but I went and I looked at it myself.
Well, I'm glad you did. That saved me from having to do it.
Yeah.
You lost a portion of your life, wasted it.
It was a waste of time. It was. It was. But I'm forever, and that's the one where people, I guess I get irritated when people say I have Trump derangement syndrome, is I'm forever giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Mm-hmm.
All the time. Even though I know in my heart that it's a waste of time.
Well, I didn't,
because I try to be fair, I give him, I listen to what he says.
I did not do this because it was Trump making the statement. Right. Go to hold that news conference or whatever. I didn't do that. I didn't care about that. I don't care who it was. Just nothing has been presented by investigators, elections investigators, fraud investigators, law enforcement people. Nothing has been presented to show me one inkling of probable cause. And y'all know me. I deal with probable cause up front, and then we go after the evidence, and then we submit it for action. That's the procedure you go through. But nothing has been shown to me, whether Trump was saying it or whether it was Abraham Lincoln's spirit saying it. I don't care who was there or who was doing it. If it had been anything at all, like you say, it would not have come out under the conditions that they wanted you to believe it. No.
All right.
Show me.
All right. Right. That's it. That's it in a nutshell. And like I say, man, I'd be happy if today's the last time we ever speak about this.
Good.
Personally.
I'll put it down on the books.
I will put it in the books. I will not bring it up again unless it is unless it's put in the news and made relevant by some politician.
Oh, they go. That depends upon who you decide what's relevant. I just, I didn't think it was relevant what was going to happen last week, so I didn't watch it.
Well, like I say, it's relevant to me because I feel like that he's trying to put his thumb on the scale again.
Yeah,
and I don't like nobody putting their thumb on the scale when it comes to this. It's kind of my patriotic side. Is that you need to be ready to accept a loss, and that we don't have a person that's capable of that. So what do we do?
Well, he's lost. He's lost before. He's lost this time. So
he's lost, but we see how he behaves when he does that. He don't admit it. He blames everybody else, and he cries, fraud and corruption.
Cry all you want. What difference does it make? You don't have a. I mean, I saw something posted yesterday. So why is everybody so uptight about all of this stuff? Because this thing about not serving. Well, you can only serve 2 terms, but they have to be consecutive 2 terms. No, they don't. Some idiot's putting that out there, and it's not even a Republican. It's a Democrat who said we've got to be careful because Trump can run again because he has not served 2 consecutive terms. I'm like, where was this idiot born?
And right, and
Massachusetts.
Honestly, I mean, in my heart, I think that's impossible. I think it's impossible that it just can't happen. No court would uphold that. Is what I believe.
Well, no, it specifies it. It specifies it directly. He cannot serve more than 2 terms, and it spells out. Now he can be in 2 full terms of his own and less than 2 years of a term that he takes over from. That's why the speculation was, and I think the deal was originally that the Democrats were going to run Biden and let him serve 2 years and a day or whatever, and then let Kamala Harris take over because they thought she was a good person, but they didn't think she could beat Trump during the 2020. So Biden would serve 2 years and 1 day was all it would take, because anything less than 2 years that she would have served would not have counted against her 2 consecutive terms. That is the way the law is written. I've said it 100 times during that whole period of time to explain it to people who didn't believe it, and they go look it up, and there it's there.
But the fact that that he goes out of his way to challenge things like that is what concerns me. The birthright citizenship is in the Constitution, and we thought it was concrete, but he challenged it, and we had to go all the way to the Supreme Court and wait for them to decide if that's what the Constitution really said or not.
It says it, and there some of the questions that were asked. Okay, they had a right to ask them, and I can see that. Well, That was meant, the reason it was put in there is because so that the descendants of slaves or the slaves themselves who had come into this country or the children of the slaves who came into this country, they would be considered, because they were here and they were brought here against their will, they would be considered having the birthright. That's what the original intent was. Now,
That was the original intent,
but it
but it
did
was
not
ratified
state
throughout
that.
time.
did not state that
But
specifically.
it was ratified throughout time. They also promoted that after World War II for all the refugees that were coming here. And, that they would, within one generation, their children would be U.S. citizens. So that's something that America has embraced multiple times since its inception.
Yep.
It wasn't just about slaves. That may have been the motivation at that particular moment in time, but it was ratified.
Here's the concern. Now let's just go back to what the people in this country still have as a concern for that. We're talking about illegals coming here. We're not talking about refugees. We're not talking about people that we were forced to come here. We're talking about illegals coming here. And as we know, quite often, as has been proven, they came here with the express purpose of having their baby here. So their baby would be a U.S. citizen.
Right. I understand people play the system.
Yeah,
I get that completely. Right. And it's the same thing for every system. People play the Medicaid system. People play the Social Security system. There's always crooks out there trying to figure out a way to steal some.
Yep.
That does not mean that the whole system is corrupt.
So what needs to be done is to figure out something that can be done to handle that part. I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you can get to this day and time, how you'll ever get it passed.
And honestly, I think a lot of people, I ain't going to say all people, because some people just think that anybody should be able to come here anytime they want to.
No, they can't.
But a lot of people are in agreement that, people who come here illegally, that's illegal.
That's right.
And so they should be deported.
Yep.
My thinking goes a little deeper than that, is that, okay, we've got to make our immigration system function well enough to not make people want to circumvent that. Right now in Mexico, we have like quotas of how many people can come from each country.
Yeah.
And if you're in Mexico and you're trying to apply for a visa to come here, it can take up to 20 years for you to get that visa.
I don't know.
I looked it up.
Otherwise, what do? We just open the doors, open the borders, and just let as many hundreds of thousands come as they want to. And then how are we going to take care of it? Because we're going to have to take care of it if we allow them here.
Right.
Now, here's the thing. You can go to another country. I can give you a list of countries you can go to. And you know what you got to do to be able to stay there? You got to have an income. Before you can even get a job in that country, you've got to be able to support yourself. You've got to have insurance, and you've got to have a ticket to take you back home in case things don't work out. Now, can we adopt a plan like that? Nope, it won't pass. But they pass it. Other countries do it.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say that America models itself after other countries.
Oh, well, obviously it doesn't. We shouldn't.
Right. Right.
But I'm just saying, what other plan would there be?
I get what you're saying.
Okay.
I get what you're saying.
All right, we're late.
But I got you. I appreciate y'all's time this morning. Y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you. Bye. I'm glad, like he said, I'm not Massachusetts, or I'm not going to Massachusetts. I got no business there.
I haven't been in a long time.
I don't think I've ever spent the night there.
I need to go, though. I have
through
some
it.
family there that...
Tell them come here.
Well, I want to go there.
Why?
Because I haven't been there so long, and it's beautiful where they live. They live right close to the water.
We got water here that's beautiful.
And they have great big old lobsters and markets along the ocean. And
Maine's got it too.
well, I don't know anybody in Maine.
Well, go meet them. You might find somebody there you like. Somebody with a lobster boat.
Let's do weather.
Our beautiful Onslow Bay waters today out to 60 nautical miles. Well, we all know about last night and yesterday. We had some severe weather yesterday up in the Greensboro area, but then last
We
night
did.
around here,
Boone, North Carolina has some pretty bad storms.
no, they didn't have any snow though, did they?
No,
Okay, no hurricanes.
no hurricanes.
Thank God. Okay, along the coastal area, we managed to avoid a lot of issues yesterday. Overnight, we did have some stuff, but today, high pressure is moving in. It should be moving in now. The chance of thunderstorms greatly reduced. There is a chance today, not a big chance, but there is still a chance this morning for the most part. Conditions are improving for the ocean. Westerly winds 20 to 25 knots. Gust up to 30 this morning. They'll come down this afternoon, as will the seas. This morning, the seas are running 4 to 6 feet. There is that chance of showers and thunderstorms until probably 11 or 12 o'clock. Thursday, tomorrow, northwesterly winds 5 to 10, diminishing to around 5 in the afternoon. Cool, that's good. Flat seas only 3 to 4 feet. Slight chance of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. Slight chance. That's just normal summer weather. Northerly winds Friday around 5 knots, becoming westerly in the afternoon. When the winds are from the west, the fishing is
The best.
in the afternoon. Seas 3 to 4 feet.
Today, sunny with a high near 91. Tonight, mostly clear with a low around 70. Thursday, sunny with a high near 90. Friday, sunny with a high near 91. And Saturday, mostly sunny with a high near 89.
Mm-hmm.
Please, let's continue that trend.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
I got a great story for you
Yeah.
coming back home here
And you got all those football players up
in
there?
the Duplin County and Pender County area.
Yeah.
You'll like this one. It was a high-speed pursuit.
Oh no! Did it make the news?
Oh, yeah, by the State Highway Patrol.
Uh-oh! I know who lost.
And it stretched across Duplin and Pender counties. This was Sunday morning now.
Oh,
According to the arrest documents, Terrence Hooks faces 17 charges after fleeing from the North Carolina Highway Patrol.
don't do that.
Those guys that had the Hemis in their,
Yes.
in their cars.
You know,
It
white
began
handed
when Hooks was clocked doing 107 miles per hour, and he's not from North Carolina. He has no record yet in North Carolina.
Oh, he doesn't.
No. 107 miles per hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone on I-40.
Oh my!
Weren't we talking about I-40 yesterday
Yeah.
and that the speed limit's 70, but what do people do?
No, 90.
Yeah. All right. The 17 charges include driving the wrong way in head-on traffic, operating his vehicle without headlights, failure to maintain lane control.
He
Okay.
had to get in the wrong way on Interstate 40.
Yeah.
You know he has to go across the median, right?
Yeah.
Holy mackerel!
All right. Failure to maintain lane control.
Mm-hmm.
The chase ended in Wallace after a pit maneuver
Good boys.
was done by the Highway Patrol. I'm going to tell you what. I like to watch the pits. Troopers say that at least 3 State Highway Patrol vehicles were damaged during the pursuit.
Mm-hmm.
And according to the Duplin County Sheriff's Office, investigators recovered, here we go, 21 grams of fentanyl,
Idiot.
138 grams of cocaine,
Double idiot.
felony drug trafficking charges, riding dirty. So why don't we just do 107 miles an hour in a 70-mile-an-hour zone? Nobody will notice, will they?
Why?
And because he's listed as a flight risk,
No one.
citing his alleged attempt to flee the law enforcement, and he has a Massachusetts address,
Uh-oh.
he refused to give his name.
Oh, that's another.
So troopers had to
That's
wait for
another charge.
fingerprints to get back.
That's another charge.
All right. Want to take a guess on his bond?
None.
He received a $5 million secured bond on the drug charges and an additional $250,000 secured bond on the pursuit-related charges. And he remains in the Pender County Jail.
I hope he gets out under bond and takes off and leaves the state of North Carolina and stays gone forever.
Why don't you
And then we get to keep the money to pay for all the damage to those patrol cars.
Why don't we just put a big old sign on the back of our car and say, hey, I've got drugs. Come get me. I mean,
They do. The highway patrol knows how to read it, as do most cops.
oh my gosh. Yeah,
I am a drug trafficker.
Okay.
What kind of car was it?
It didn't say. It was a sedan. It was a small sedan. There is a video of it out. I think WCTI's got the video on their page. But yeah, they had to break the window, the driver's window. They popped it, but they were able. Actually,
Could have been a rental then.
you know, I don't know, but I will tell you that watching them take him out of the vehicle and put him on the ground, it was like,
Rewarding?
yes, and that was after the pit maneuver. Oh, that just gets I just love watching them when they pit somebody.
You know, a lot of states,
It's like
some
watching
states
NASCAR.
have a maximum speed that you can pit someone at.
Right,
Arizona does, I think,
right. They have rules, yeah,
45 miles an hour.
right.
Arkansas does not. Arkansas has
I
one
love
of the
Arkansas.
more
Chief
aggressive.
Brady.
Arkansas has one of the more.
Is he Arkansas? Yeah, he's Arkansas. Yeah, Chief Brady.
I don't know who Chief Grady is.
Chief Bradley Taylor. I'm sorry, we call him Chief Brady. Yeah, he's like, you speed in my county, we will catch you.
Okay, but anyway, the Arkansas troopers are well known for being very businesslike, very efficient, and they will. Yes, ma'am, you got to give me your license, and you don't have a license. Bam! They open the window.
Well,
They
yeah,
crash.
I've seen that happen,
But
but
they don't waste a lot of time. A lot of places, the officers are not sure what they can do or what they should not do. Arkansas apparently has seminars for their troopers about what to do, and there is no
See.
maximum speed that they have a policy that they will not pit. Now, it can be dangerous for the trooper to pit as well.
yeah, I like to watch Chief Bradley Taylor. He's on Patrol Live. He's one of the departments on there. He's from Hazen, Arkansas, and he's really one of his famous quotes is "Welcome to Arkansas. We chase the bad guys," and he's really cool. I really like him, and he comes from deep family law enforcement roots, but he's pretty cool. I like to watch whenever and I'm gonna tell you what, some of the chases they get into, they're like doing, 120, 130 miles an hour chasing people on the interstate.
I've seen some of them where they were clocked at over 150. Now, for all of you anti-gun freaks out there say, y'all don't need no guns. We don't have a big old magazine only that can hold 20 bullets. Well, what's more dangerous, a gun that holds 20 bullets or a car that can run 150 miles an hour?
Well, it depends on it's being aimed at you.
Why are people allowed, or why are they suing gun manufacturers for building a gun
Right.
when car dealers, manufacturers are building cars that are running 150 miles an hour on the street? There's not a state in this country with a speed limit that would allow that.
I have no need to run that fast. No,
I don't want to. I've been over 130. That was way too fast.
I just, when I get up there on the interstate doing 70, I'm just like, I'm just not into speed. It might have been 20 years ago, but I just want to sit back and just take my time. But other news in North Carolina right now,
Yes.
I saw a lot of this on social media, ugly comments.
Socialist media.
H958. I watched the Senate yesterday.
Okay.
And they had public comment on this, just like we do here when we're passing something with our commissioners or city council. But this is a North Carolina elections bill proposing changes to ballot counting, absentee and provisional voting, campaign finance, election audits, and election administration. Now, this started back like in April 2025, but it's gone in and out of committee, changes here, changes there. The House did pass it. Now it's in the Senate for a vote. But ballot counting procedures requires counting of election day ballots to begin immediately and continue upon completion, with public observation allowed but no interference. Well, I know the times that I've gone in there, we can watch, but we don't ask questions. We just stay quiet. County boards must adopt a resolution at least 2 weeks prior to Election Day, specifying the time between 9 and 5 for counting absentee and early ballots. Okay, that's cool. Provisional and absentee ballots extends deadlines for voters to correct registration errors or provide identification from the 3rd to the 5th business day after the election. Allows absentee ballots to be counted only if lawfully transmitted, and permits county boards to meet after election day to count absentee ballots. Okay, I'm cool so far. You cool?
No.
All right, why?
For the 5th day. First of all, that will be a Sunday after a Tuesday election.
No, the 5th day, meaning the 5th. I took it. Okay, the 5th. Yeah, you're right. From the
Which they
3rd
which they then will not count.
after.
Then they will not count Friday and Saturday as a day. Then it will be the next Monday
It doesn't
and Tuesday.
specify. It doesn't
So guarantee
specify.
that's the way it will be done.
Okay. Campaign election audits and voter challenges establishes a statewide post-election audit process to identify potentially ineligible votes. County boards are required to review audit results and initiate challenges, with the state auditor empowered to select counties for audits and access election records. So they're giving the power to the state auditor to do audits on every county in North Carolina, and each county will be done at least once every 6 years.
Could I ask you a question or two?
Yes.
So provisional ballot is what we're talking about, and mail-in ballots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a provisional ballot, you go up to vote.
And your address needs to be corrected.
So your address needs to be corrected at that time. So why do me, the taxpayer, have to pay for people to go and verify that that's your address? Why aren't you required to do that?
Well, that's what we push it all the time on the show. Go to NC voter registration,
Yeah.
put in your information,
If you
see if everything's correct.
If you have not done that, by the time 1 week out from the election, you have not gone to take care of that business, I don't want to hear from you.
I disagree, because there are a lot of people. Rayford, if we went to the mall and stood there on the sidewalk and took a poll and asked people, do you know what your voter registration says? Is your address correct? Is this correct? You're going to get some people say, I don't know. I moved a year ago. I moved 6 months ago. I don't know.
You have the obligation of either going over to the office to verify it or going online to verify
But
it.
does everyone know that? Do you know how many people come to the wrong polls on voting day to vote because they don't
Whose
know?
fault is that? What did they do prior to all of this stuff that called provisional ballots and before the internet was out there? What did they do in
Paper
1968?
ballots. But the thing about it is,
They couldn't vote.
but that's part of the problem is uneducated people, and I mean uneducated as far as the voting process, and that you need to check and make sure your information's up to date. You need to know what poll you go to on election day. You need to know what time they open, what time they close. There are a lot of people. Look at this primary. How many people did you talk to said, I didn't even know there was voting? I didn't even know we had an election going
That
on.
is the fault of the promoters, which is including the Board of Elections and every media outlet out there.
Well,
But
you
the
know,
problem
yeah.
with this, hold on, the problem with that is the media is not the primary source of information anymore.
Well, see, now how many people are educated to the point? I mean, there's going to be people that don't understand that every 2 years there's an election, whether it's a general election or a presidential election. Every odd year here in Onslow County, there is a municipal election of some type, you know? And so, because you have like Jacksonville set up where you have 3 run this time, and then 2 years from now, the other 4 run. And that's the way the county commissioners are. But county commissioners go on the general or the presidential election. But how you're going to find people who don't know, they don't care. They'll come out and show up at a poll. When Trump first ran, and we had a headquarters downtown, people were coming in that were in their 60s, Rayford. I want to register to vote. I've never voted before.
I'm sure.
I was like, what? But and then people coming in saying, I want to change my party or I want to update my address. But they were coming out of the woodwork because of the presidential election in 2016. They were just so about Trump. And people that I've known for years never knew they'd never voted in their life. But there's people like that who are uneducated about the process.
You're not going to change that part.
No.
They don't care. They're not going to vote.
Well, there are some people
they will
that do.
tell you that they really don't want to vote.
There's people that, if you get out and take a poll, you're going to find people that have never voted. Are you going to
Because they
find
don't want
people
to.
who don't care about voting? Are you going to find people that only vote during a presidential year? Are you going to find people that have never or very seldom vote in a municipal election? I mean, we have it
Why
all.
is it my problem as a taxpayer to pay the Board of Elections and whoever to have to work all of these extra hours after the fact?
Well,
I would rather have them spend the money to educate the people in advance than to have to spend the money and the time, and it opens up the door to fraud.
Well,
every
from
time
what I'm
that
seeing
occurs.
here, this is occurring during normal working hours.
They're still
when they're
having to pay
working.
for it.
Well, yeah, because
They
the
can't
people
do
have a
anything.
job. They work there. That's part of their job.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But it opens up the door every time this other hands are involved to fraud.
All right. Let's go on. Campaign finance charges raises reporting thresholds for contributions and independent expenditures, prohibits foreign nationals from contributing, and requires disclosure of contributions over $1,000 within 48 hours before an election. I understand about the $1,000. If you were running for office and I came up and gave you a check for $1,000, that has to be reported within 48 hours. It's called a 48-hour report. You fill it out, you take it and drop it off. So that's not really change. They were talking about, though, in this bill where if I walked up and gave you $20, there's a way that you can record it on your campaign finance report. You don't have to put my name and all that. It's just what they call an aggregate contribution. Now, if I was to give you $50 or more, then you have to take my name, my address, my occupation, blah, 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 and
What if
that
they
has
put
to
it
go on
in
the
an
report.
envelope and leave it under your door? What do you do?
Well,
with that
then
kind of
then you just list it as, well, it depends on how much it is, too.
stuff? $100. I put a
$100.
$100 bill and put it in my mailbox, and just got my name on it. And that's all.
Well, how do you know it's for election?
What-
Maybe somebody owes you. Well, I
yeah.
could tell you what a lot of people would do is they would just probably
What could you do legally?
call the Board of Elections and ask them how you want that to do it legally, because they have specific ways to account for that. But
Well, you need to get the Board of Elections chair in here to find out.
and she does live in New Hanover. I did find out. Okay, but she commutes here to work here.
Oh, for God's sake.
Okay. But anyway, where it's now they're going to move that $50 to $100. So if I walked up and gave you a check for $50 or $60, you wouldn't have to record all my information.
How about if you do it 10 days in a row?
Then you have to record it because you're going over that threshold. So anyway,
So it's the total amount that you contribute over a period of time?
in a day's time.
I'm talking
but-
about today, tomorrow, and the next day.
Right. But the thing about it is, okay, if I gave you $50 today, you would have to record my name and everything. And if I gave you $50 tomorrow, you would have to record it. What they're saying is they're raising that to $100.
If they give you $49.99 today,
Mhm.
today, tomorrow, the next day, the next day, the next day,
Right.
the next day, do you have to record all of that?
Not if it's on an individual basis, but I would. As a treasurer, I
I
would.
understand, but Okay.
All right, election administration, updates, training, and removal procedures for precinct officials, increasing compensation for county board chairs, prohibits ranked choice voting in primaries. Now, here's the key controversies on a lot of this. Okay. Supporters argue the bill improves election integrity, ensures proper training of election officials, and introduces transparency through audits and standardized procedures. So far, I don't have any controversy with what I'm reading. Now, opponents, including Democrats and Voting Rights Group, which I saw yesterday, there was two sides, contend the bill could restrict voter access, politicize the State Board of Elections, create opportunities for post-election challenges that may undermine confidence in elections. They highlight that the bill imposes additional requirements on military and overseas voters, limits nonpartisan voter outreach, and could disproportionately affect Black voters, students, and working class citizens. Tell me how you got that out of what I read.
Working class citizens, students, and blacks. How? All right, practical implications. If enacted, H 958 would change the timing and procedures for counting ballots and handling provisional and absentee ballots. And we go back to the uneducated voter. We need to educate them that there's early voting. Make sure your stuff is right. And then there's on-day voting. Make sure your stuff is right. And we wouldn't have all these issues, right? Okay, here's what I'm going to propose. And when you register to vote, you do it every year. Every year. You re-register
Oh,
every year.
no.
Yes.
That's
You go into the board of
repetitive.
you go into the Board of Elections and you re-register to vote. You've got a new address. Good. It's going to show up then.
Now, you were just talking about the cost of paying people that work at the Board of Elections to do all this.
Reduce that fraud potential afterwards, mistakes or fraud, whatever.
You know, I'm a firm believer there's going to be fraud. There's going to be fraud. Somebody's going to find a way. Okay, expand the role of the state auditor and county boards in post-election audits and voter challenges. This is an implication. Adjust campaign finance reporting requirements and thresholds. We've already talked about that. Modify election administration, including training, removal, and compensation of election officials, and potentially affect voter access and participation, particularly for certain groups due to stricter ID and registration verification requirements. So far from what I read and I took away from this, I think my opinion is they're tightening up the whole system. I don't think we've ever had a huge problem in North Carolina. I know we talked about the one that happened western part of the state, in 2018, I think it was.
There's one in Bladen County.
Yeah, it might have been that one. But that was a democracy group that got involved and was creating all that mess. But I think it just kind of cleans it up and tightens it, in my opinion. I do not see where what I just read is going to cause people of minority groups not to be able to vote. Why? They're going to go down and register just like I am. They're going to go, check on the registrations just like me. Why? I don't get it.
Those who make claims like that, they're looking for some way. They're not concerned about whether there's going to be access, whether they have access or not. They're not concerned. They're concerned about if they're going to affect the people that vote for whatever their
Tom's question is, if you have moved and did not change your address but vote at your old voting place, should that vote count?
No.
But who's to know when you go in there? Now you have to sign like an affidavit saying everything on that is correct.
The law.
But how would anybody know that?
All they got to do is challenge it. if I'm your neighbor,
And you're standing behind me and you see I lied.
if I'm your
You gonna turn me in?
if I'm your neighbor and I know where I registered it, where I
Right.
vote and where you vote, and I know that you just voted somewhere else, yeah, Bubba,
Oh,
I
you're
will
a rat.
rat you out in a
You're a
heartbeat.
rat.
Yep.
You're an RAT rat.
Yep.
Well, I just like, there was different people, like Jim Womack was there, and I know Jim very well, spoke before the Senate. He's with a voter integrity type group, and he was like, these are great changes. And then you would have somebody with Democracy America, which is a Democratic, representative, and saying, no, this is going to be racially discriminated against.
Well, everybody's got to do the same thing, right?
Well, everybody's going to do the same thing. And that's like going back to municipal elections in the city of Jacksonville.
Oh,
What does it matter what color your skin is? What does it matter where you live in the neighborhood? If you're going to run, you're going to run. If you get elected, do the job. Represent everybody.
I still think I've got the best argument there.
And
If they're going to be, I don't see how somebody running in a ward who's going to vote on something that affects my neighborhood and I can't vote for or against them, how that's fair. I think any person on city council or county commission or school board in this county, that I should be able to vote for
Excuse me.
every one of them,
right.
not just those who live in a certain location.
Well, yeah, I think we make it harder than what it needs to be.
Yes, we do.
And I think by tightening up the election laws, we should keep it simple, tighten it up, and I think the answer, like you said, Rayford, is educating the people.
Good luck.
Educating the people. And I know we do a lot of that here.
What we do and what the idea that some people have is in educating the public. Here's what they prefer. They don't care about educating anybody. Okay. There are
Right.
so many people that claim that they don't care about educating them. They care about making the vote for my person. I want that person to vote for my person. I only want the people educated that I know will be voting for my person. I don't, if they go leaning towards the other side, I don't want them to know anything. Those are the people screaming education, education, education.
What the thing about it is, too, I don't have a problem with them tightening election laws and doing audits and provisional ballots being verified and challenged, etc. Because I want to know that when I go in there, I take my voting very seriously.
Me too.
And I know you do too. But I want to feel
That's why they'll rat you
comfortable.
out if you vote illegally.
Rat. I just want to be confident in knowing that when I go in there, I fill out my ballot and I stick it in that machine and I get what number I am. I want to feel confident that whatever I put on that sheet is what's being counted and it's going to be processed. That's my, take at it. But you brought up people going to the wrong. Well, Tom brought it up. If you know you're at the wrong poll and you sign the little sheet said everything's correct, then you're wrong.
You're illegal.
You're illegal, and you're making it hard on people like us who go stand in a line, and because we're proud to vote and we sign the sheet saying yes, everything is right. I mean, and this is the reason why the state has to tighten up election laws.
Yep.
So anyway. I don't know if they're in session today. I'll have to check and see. But I just happened to come across that yesterday, and I was like, I'm going to watch it. Because I knew some of the people that were speaking for public comment. The young lady that speaks at every single commissioner meeting from the Richlands area, she was there, and she spoke. I didn't understand a word she said, but give her kudos for going. So.
You have
Let me see what there.
a long period of time to get your affairs in order before you vote, before election day. If your affairs are not in order by election day,
Whose fault is that?
Then you make plans to correct that by the next time around. Should we change the rule to, okay, I did not know that I had to live in this district for this amount of time after I change my registration before I can run for this office? Yes, it happens.
There is, my opinion, there is no excuse for you not knowing. Oh my
There are
gosh.
plenty of excuses. There are no reasons. Anybody can make an excuse for anything. I can give you an excuse for me. But sometimes I can't give you a reason for me.
You know, unless you live in an area or you don't follow politics or you don't care or whatever,
Why are you voting?
then
You are
I
dumb.
can understand if you get there and you have no knowledge of where you're supposed to be because you don't follow it. But that's why we have to educate people. We talk about it all the time. Board of Elections needs to send
How
out
often
stuff.
do they change the
Let me see.
voting places? How often do they change the voting
Let me
places
see.
in Onslow County?
Onslow County Board of, I want to see if they've put anything on here yet. Where everyone else is already listed, October 15th is early voting. Let's see if the Board of Elections has done it yet. Election info. Okay, let's see what it says. Oh, early voting locations to be determined. Early voting dates and times to be determined. This is Onslow County.
Then we need a Board of Elections chairperson who is from Onslow County.
We do have that election day is November 3rd, 2026. Polls will be open from 6:30 to 7:30. You must vote at your assigned precinct on election day. And how do you know where your assigned precinct is? You go to North Carolina Voter Search, you put in your information, and it will tell you.
But why isn't it on the Onslow County page? Where the precincts are, where the voting places are?
Well, it says
Have they not been determined?
It's got a no.
Have they not been determined where they're going to be? This is for early voting, right?
I know they had. Yeah, I know they had a meeting yesterday,
Okay.
but and maybe they haven't had time to update their website. They just got to work, Rayford. 8:00. It's only 9. We got to have donuts and coffee first. I'm not talking about bad about our Board of Elections. They have wonderful
Yeah,
people.
you leave
work
that
there.
to me. All right, you go ahead.
They have great people working there, and I really like
I'm
them
not
all.
concerned about the
But-
people. I'm concerned about the direction.
Hey, let's see. Pick
Who
another.
hired
let's
this
do-
person?
The state would be the ones
They're
that
fired. The state's fired.
Craven County Board. Let's see if any of the other counties
I don't sound like Donald Trump in a little while.
have got to be determined. It's after 9:00.
I know that.
Okay,
Why are
I
you
am
talking?
so sorry. Let's just anyway. Okay.
We are still
We'll-
punchy, folks.
I know. We've had no sleep. I've had 30 minutes.
I didn't.
Mine was like, and the alarm kept going off, and I kept saying, Alexa, snooze for 5 minutes.
Okay, we
Anyway,
will be back
yes,
tomorrow morning,
we will.
and weather's looking better for today.
Beautiful.
Severe weather type stuff is not likely today. There is
Yeah.
always a chance of showers and thunderstorms. That's not going to go away, but the likelihood of them is reduced, greatly reduced.
And we're going to get a full report tomorrow from our famous, fabulous, most favorite sports editor on the first day of football practice. He's traveling school to school.
Well, good. All right, we'll find out.
All right, good.
Have a good rest of your day, and we'll be
Yes,
back
enjoy
tomorrow.
it.
And, don't take us some of our negativity as being gospel. We just want to challenge our government agencies. That's number one. But we want to challenge you. You guys have got to you need to take the responsibility. My God, if you go out to your car today and you get down the road 1 mile because you ran out of gas, whose fault is that? And you're the only driver? Who's that? Who do you look in the mirror and say, who did that to you? Somebody caused me to run out of gas. No, they didn't. You did, dummy.
That's right. And if your driver's license is due to expire, it's your responsibility to go get a new one.
Whose fault is that?
So-
It's yours, dummy.
Treat your voter registration
Here
the same.
is the only way things can happen. And this is the North Carolina Department of Motor Vehicles. If you do not get your car inspected
Tomorrow I'll
by
get
a
mine.
certain time and get your license plate by a certain time,
Mhm.
you are going to be fined. It's an
getting on mine
automatic deal.
Tomorrow.
You understand that,
2
right?
days left in the month, and I'm doing it tomorrow.
You understand that if it is not done
Yes.
on time, it is on you.
That's
and
right.
You
Whose fault
gotta
is
pay.
that?
If you have not got your if you have not gotten your ballot, your registration changed, it's a $50 fine if you want to vote. How's that sound?
Don't be adding to this now. You will really get some of the woke
That's
upset.
the best thing to do. Put a fine,
gosh.
put a $10 fine on it. People, a $1 fine.
Right.
People will get it done. If
Well,
you put a
I
$1
don't
fine
know.
on failing to do right, they will get it done.
No, well, anyway.
Y'all can talk to me tomorrow and blast me. You're live in Local Real Talk. We're not even awake, and we're certainly not woke.
We'll see you tomorrow. We'll
Say
be
good night,
refreshed.
Gracie.
Good night, Gracie.
Bye.